Hello there, welcome to my channel, Golden Designs. In this tutorial, we're gonna be covering some basic introduction to Adobe Photoshop. So let's get started. This video is meant for beginners who are finding it difficult to understand the interface of the software and some tools, and for those that are trying to learn this program on their own. So let's get started. So this is our on installing Photoshop for the first time, and you open the software. This is your home screen where you are going to see all these options: your home, learn, files, shared with you, and so on. So these are my recent files or projects that I have worked on or have opened this past few days. So you can change. So it's in a grid view now. You can change the view to a list view by clicking on these two icons. So this is your grid view and this is your list view. So your recent project, for you that is just installing Photoshop for the first time, is not going to be more than 20 files, but for mine it is 99. So I'll show you how to set that in your settings by the time we dive into the app. So to create a new file, you're going to click on new file. Then you're going to see this dialog box. So this is where you set up your presets, that is your file size, your resolution, your PPI, your color mode, your file title. Let's call this test, or let's say tutorial 1. Tutorial 1. So these are your file title, the width, the height, the orientation, artboard, and so on. So there are some default presets that comes with Photoshop automatically. So if you are into photography and so on, these are some default presets that for people that are into photography: landscape 3 by 2 inches, 6 by 4 inches at 300 ppi, that is pixel per inch. Then you can click on view all presets and go to see the rest. Portraits, for people that are into print, this is our normal letter tabloid A4. You can click on view all preset and go to see the rest: A3, B3, C5, C6, and so on. So for people that are into web, that is website design, these are some presets. The ones for the standard website, this is 1360 by 768 pixels, and this is 1920 by 1080 pixels, which is for most desktops or laptop, and so on. And also these are mobile presets for some mobile devices such as iPhone, smartwatches, iPads, Microsoft Surface, and so on. And these are presets for film and video, as you can see. So these are all default presets that comes with Photoshop. So if you want to create your own default preset, you can set your width and size here. So these are our unit of measurement, which we have pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, and picas. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using pixels. So I'm going to set my width to be 2000 pixels and my height to be 2000 pixels also. So and the resolution at 300 resolution at 300 pixels per inch. This is the default, not 300.1 but 300 pixels per inch. The color mode at RGB, the bit channel at 8 bits. Background is white, or you can click on this icon here and set your default background to be red or blue or purple, pink, and so on. Any color you want. But I'm going to set mine at white. You can choose your color profile. I'm going to go with RGB. Then your pixel square ratio, keep this at square pixels. These two options here, just put it at the default. You can click this drop down and You can collapse the advanced options, that is the color profile and the pixel aspect ratio. For some of you, it might be like this, so you have to click on this arrow beside it to collapse it and see the advanced options. So then after setting your presets, your size, your document size, click on create. Yeah. So once you click on create, you are this is the this screen that you are now prompted with is your workspace. This entire screen is called your workspace, and this border box, this white box is your canvas. That is your 2000 pixel by 2000 pixel document. As you can see down here, the document size is 2000 pixel by 2000 pixel, 300 ppi, that is 300 pixel per inch. And this is your zoom level. I'm 25% zoomed in. Now I'm 30.3% zoomed in. As you can see, as I'm zooming in, my zoom level is increasing 50%, 66.7%. Just look at this bar down here. So this is your menu bar, these are your panels, these are your toolbar. So for you that is just opening Photoshop for the first time, this is not how your workspace will look like. So let me make sure that my workspace looks like yours. So I go to Windows, Workspace, then I'll click on Essentials Default. Yeah, for you that is just opening Photoshop for the first time, Workspace, then click on Reset Essentials. Yes. So for people that are just opening their software for the first time, this is how your Photoshop is going to look like. With your color, with all these are your chord panels, all these are chord panels, channels, parts. So if you want to change your workspace layout, you can just go to Windows, click on Workspace, then you can choose the 3D workspace. First, we're going to ask you about 3D features and click on OK. Then click on Reset 3D. So to change your workspace again, maybe you are into motion or graphics and web, click on this graphic and web. Then your workspace is going to look like this. But for beginners, let's go with the essentials. So this is your most important panel in Photoshop, which is your layers panel. As you can see, we have a default layer that opens, that is being created once you start any new file or document, which is your background. And this icon beside it means that it is locked currently. And these are your toolbar. So this is your default tool in Photoshop, which is the move tool, and the shortcut is V for the move tool. This is your rectangular marquee tool. I'm still going to cover some tools right now, but I want to rearrange this workspace. So if you want to rearrange your workspace, maybe you don't want this here, you can click and drag on each panel, drag it out. You can stack it up here as an icon, or stack it beside. You can click and drag it out, stack it. You can see this blue line appearing. It's good you want to stack it beside this panel. So if you do that, you can see your widget panel has been stacked beside. You can click and drag your patterns panel, stack it beside also. But I don't want that, so let's go to Windows, Workspace, then click on Reset Essentials to reset to default settings. So let me rearrange this. So if you rearrange your workspace, you can click and drag this one here. This is how I usually prefer my workspace to be like, as my layers panel is the most important layers in Photoshop. Then you can, if you hover your mouse over this line, you can see that your arrow is changing from a pointer to this kind of line of a double, of a line with two arrows. If you click and drag on this, you can increase the length between each panels. So I can click this one and put it over here. I can start this one and put it over here. Then my libraries, I can start this one here. Then if I'm satisfied with, let me close all these ones down, or let me just put them to the side. So once I'm satisfied with the layout of my workspace, you can click on Windows, Workspace, then click on New Workspace, then save it as default work. Then you click on save, and you switch to another workspace, maybe your Motion. You can see that the workspace is different, and if you want your saved workspace back, you want it to you want your workspace to be like the first one that you have saved, you go to Window Workspace and you can find your new workspace that you created here. You click on it. Then we are back to your default workspace. So, but let me change it to my own workspace preference, which is kind of how I like my workspace to be like. So I called it favorites. So not more changes, just that my layouts, adjustments, parts, channels, and properties. As these are the panels that I make use of the most, and I stack them side by side. So that's all about workspace and Canva. So let's get to know some of these tools here. So this is your move tool. You use the move tool to move things around, select objects, and so on in Photoshop. Right now, I'm trying to move this background which is locked, and that's why I'm seeing this pop up. So I'm going to click on cancel. So this is your brush tool. Yeah, for some handy shortcuts. In case you are wondering how I was able to zoom in and zoom out in Photoshop. So Ctrl plus is to zoom out. Then Ctrl minus is to zoom in. And Ctrl 0, which is Ctrl 0 is to fit to screen. So Ctrl minus to zoom out, Ctrl plus to zoom, Ctrl minus to zoom in, Ctrl plus to zoom out, then Ctrl 0 to fit to window size or fit to screen. So let's start with some popular tools here. Let's start with the brush tool, in which the shortcut is, if you hover your mouse over it, you can see the shortcut is B, brush tool, which is B. So once you click on B, you can see that it has been highlighted, which is B, that it has been selected. So your brush tool is now your active tool now. So if I try to paint on my canvas, I'm not seeing anything. I'm actually clicking and dragging and painting, but I'm not seeing anything. That's because the color set on this brush is right now is white. And if you look down here, you can see these two boxes. One is white and one is purple. So if I switch this by pressing this icon, as you can see, it says switch foreground and background color. This is your foreground color, the white is your foreground color, and this purple is your background color. Now if I switch this and I start to paint, on this canvas, you can see. So that's your brush tool used for painting and masking and a lot more in Photoshop. So let me go back to my move tool, or you can press V, the keyboard shortcut for the move tool. Now for toolbars that have this little pointed arrow at the bottom, what this means is that they are a group. So, and for you to access other tools inside this group, what you have to do is you have to left click your mouse and long press for a short period, maybe probably 3 or 4 seconds, and I'm going to see the rest of the tools in that group. Now under the brush tool, we have the pencil tool, the color replacement tool, and mixer brush tool. The pencil tool, just like normal pencil that we use, it draws a line. I want you to scribble, as you can see, just some strokes of thin lines on your canvas. So I'm going to Ctrl Z all that. I'm going to press V to go to my move tool. So now, when you go back to your brush tool, so now my pen tool is the active tool for this group, which the brush tool is also a member of the group. So if I want to access my brush tool back, I press B. But right now I'm not on my brush tool, I'm on my pencil tool. So this group all have the same shortcut attached to them. So we have to left click and long press to be able to have access to the tools in the group. So I'm going back to my brush tool. Now, if you want to reset your foreground and background color to the default, you can click on this icon beside this arrowhead. So click on this. Now this is your default colors in Photoshop, which is black and white. This is your foreground color, this is your background color. And when I click on my canvas, I have this black solid color appearing on my canvas. So let's go to the shape tool. Some of the tools that we use to create shapes in Photoshop. So which is U, the shortcut is U. Then it's also a group. As you can see this icon beneath it, which shows that it is a group of tools. So if you left and click on it, you can be able to access other tools in that group. The rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, triangle tool, polygon tool, line tool, and custom shape tool. That's a lot. So let's draw some rectangles. So what you have to do now is just click, don't let go of the mouse and drag. You can see we are creating a rectangle already. Just click and drag. Click and drag. So let's control set that. You can click and drag in any direction, whether you want it horizontal or you want it vertical. So control Z. So you can also draw ellipses. So this is a circle. So we are drawing a circle, small one, oval, in any shape. Then if you want to, let me control Z that. Then if you want to draw a perfect circle with equal diameter or equal radius, as you are clicking and dragging, hold your shift key. As you can see this measurement of your width and height, like this small black box that is over your cursor with your W stands for the width and your H stands for the height. You can see that they both have the same values. But if I let go of my shift key, now I'm getting an ellipse, that is an irregular circle, not a perfect circle. So if I click back on my shift key, and I try and drag again, I'm getting this perfect circle with equal width and height. The same thing too goes for your rectangle tool. If you are clicking and dragging and you click on your shift key, you can see that as I drawing your rectangle, it has this equal width and equal height. So those are your shape tools. You can draw a triangle using your triangle tool. The same thing. Click on shift and you have a triangle with the same width and height. Now this is your text tool. To type in text in Photoshop, we use mix of the text tool, and the shortcut is T. And this is also a group of tools. If I left click and long press on this, you have the horizontal type tool, the vertical type tool, the vertical type marks tool, and the horizontal type marks tool. Now for the horizontal type text tool, if you click on your canvas once, you can see that we have this lorem ipsum. Don't be scared, this is just a dummy text in Photoshop. This is just a dummy text in Photoshop. If I click on this check mark and clicking OK. So and on my layers panel, you can see that it has created a layer for the text tool, which I can click on this eye icon to either hide or unhide it, or to hide and reveal. So if you click on another place on your canvas, you are trying to type, just let's click, it creates another layer for you, which is another type layer. So this is just a dummy text. It's not that maybe your Photoshop is faulty or something. It's just a dummy text that comes with Photoshop that we use. So in case if you are working with it for a client and you don't have the text content ready, so it's just dummy text that you can make use of for in your design or your project. So and you can type. So as this text is still highlighted, so I can type, let's say, tutorial as you can see. So I'm typing, click on this check mark or to press OK, but I'm done with my edit. So if I want to edit this dummy text, I can. Let me zoom in. You can see my mouse, my cursor over here. It's having this rectangular outline around it, but if I hover over this word, it's changing. That rectangular outline is no more there, which means that if I click on this text, I'm trying to edit this text back. I can use my arrow keys and say Lorem King, Lorem, and so on. But if you hover on your canvas on a white space, you can see that this icon still has this rectangular outline. Once you click on it, once you let's click, it creates another text layer for you. So now we have 3 text layers in our layers panel. So that's all about the text tool. So I can hide these 3 layers. I can click on this first layer and click on the shift key on my keyboard and tap the bottom layer and select all 3 of them and tap the delete key on my keyboard to delete them. Let me control Z that, or you can click and drag it to this trash icon here, or this trash icon here, and drag over it and delete it automatically. So that's the text tool. So this is your object selection tool, your quick selection tool. We use this tool to select object or icons in Photoshop. This is your pen tool, which is also used for selecting and masking. So this is your part selection tool and die selection tool. This is your hand tool. This is your rectangular marquee tool. This is your lasso tool, polygon lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. So I'm going to be taking a look at some of these tools later on some later tutorials. So this is just the introduction to the interface of Photoshop. This is the toolbar, the menu bar. These are your panels, and these are some panels that are stacked to the side. Your history, your actions, your action panel again, your 3D panel, your color panel, widgets, and so on. So this is just a basic introduction to the interface of Photoshop. Thank you for watching this tutorial. See you in another video.